All right, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We're going to get this thing started right here on time 2:30. I know media partners are pressed for time for their broadcast. Our emergency managers need to make their plans to keep things running smoothly with all that's going on in their world. And I'm sure that my Department of Transportation and partners in the education community are kind of interested in what we have to say today as well. So uh, just to introduce myself right quick, let you know I am Jason Laney. I am the warning coordination meteorologist here with the National Weather Service, coming to you live from somewhere unknown to most people. I even put on a nice sweater today because I have a feeling I'm going to be needing it here in just a couple of hours. So enough of that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about what is going to happen over the course of the next few days. We've tried to keep you guys updated on what to expect. We've sent out updates Saturday morning, Sunday morning. Even this morning, we had our regular hazards outlook, and that was through the midnight forecast last night. We put together an updated forecast for today, and this is probably the last thing we'll get to talk about before this thing sets in. So expected weather events across the area. Temperatures go below freezing through most of the region tonight. Still some doubt as to whether or not the lower Rio Grande Valley, including El Paso and points south of there, will go freezing or not. It's kind of hit or miss 50-50 depending on the models, but it's going to be very, very close. And some of the lowland areas are definitely going to freeze before it's said and done. And colder temperatures, storm on the way. It's wintertime. Well, not officially, but it's going to feel like it. That means heavy snow's coming for the mountains. I'll show you how much here in just a few minutes. And even the lowlands are going to see some accumulating snow. When I say northern lowlands, I'm talking about generally our lowlands that are maybe northern Doña Ana County, but certainly up into Sierra County. So truth or consequences, the lakes area, thinking you're going to be getting some snow. And the rest of us, even south of there, pretty good chance of seeing some snow at some point before this thing is over. Big question is, though, how much rain will we get before it goes to snow? Will there be some ice mixed in? So there are a lot of things to talk about here. And one of the things I like to point out is just not what the uncertainty is, but what our forecast confidence is. I wish that every time we did this, we could tell you we were 100% confident this was going to happen, but nobody's quite that good just yet. But we do appreciate the trust that you put in us. So when it comes to sub-freezing temperatures, and I'm talking places like El Paso now, that's why we say moderate confidence. If you live up in truth or consequences, probably Hatch, more than likely Las Cruces, over in Alamogordo on the lowlands, yeah, I'm very confident that you're going to see a freeze tonight and again tomorrow night. When it comes to snowfall amounts, for the mountains, I'm calling it moderate, but not that we're going to get snow. Just how much? Are we going to get 8 inches or are we going to get 12 inches? And that can have a huge impact. But we're very confident that the mountains are going to get snow. Lowlands, well, while we think there's going to be some snow, just who gets how much, that's always the wild card in these sorts of things. So I'm going to show you our thought process here in a little bit. That's, of course, the big reveal. We'll hold that till the end. And then when it comes to when this all gets started, we're pretty confident that we know when the precipitation is going to start. When it ends, well, that's a little less confidence booster for us. But we're going to give you moderate, maybe even moderate high on that. Now, we have updated the watches and warnings. And to keep it real simple for you, if you're under a winter storm warning, we think this is going to be a high impact event for you. Just take it at that. It's going to impact you quite a bit. If you're in a winter weather advisory, you're going to be impacted, maybe not as severely as those in the winter weather warnings. And the change from this morning is we've added Luna County into the winter weather advisory. We've added Doña Ana County in, and even much of El Paso and Hudspeth counties kind of moved into that area. So we've expanded. That's a sure sign that this storm is bigger than we had earlier anticipated and going to be more impactful. The other big thing is we moved truth or consequences up into a winter storm warning, as well as some higher elevations over the Black's Range and into the Sacramento Mountains as well. So here's your setup. We've got colder air coming into the region. I think the first push of cold air is actually going to slip in from the north. It's going to come in by way of, say, our friends up in Albuquerque and slide right down through the valley there, through the Lakes region and into Sierra County. That's why I've got pretty good confidence that truth or consequences is going to see some snow out of this thing. The other push of cold air is cold air that's tried to make it in today, kind of held up on the mountains to the east of El Paso. It could be sluggish getting in tonight, but it's coming. And then, of course, you've got the moisture building in on top of that. So anytime you put moist air on top of cold conditions, we're going to be talking winter weather around here. So our current temperature forecast tonight, forecast low temperatures. Obviously, it's going to be much colder than it has been. You see, I'm forecasting a freeze tonight. I say I am. I forecast staff, the National Weather Service. Yes. Truth or consequences, Hatch, Las Cruces, Deming, even down to Columbus and Hachita. That's that push from the north. That push from the east coming in, well, it's going to get into places like Sierra Blanca, Del City, maybe Fort Hancock. That's where we're not quite sure we're going to get there in El Paso. But notice I showed a low of 34 in El Paso, a high of 35 tomorrow. Whatever we get to tonight, we're not going to warm up tomorrow. Clouds are going to keep us socked in. There's going to be no sunshine to warm us up. And with off and on precipitation, there's a good chance that what begins as snow tonight in many places continues as snow tomorrow. And if it goes in tomorrow night, it'll be snow for all of us. We are thinking we're probably going to see our first freeze of the season coming our way before this is said and done. So that's a look at temperatures. Now a look at what the forecast timing is going to be as far as the precipitation. You've seen these before. Blue is snow, green is rain, and the pink, that can be either freezing rain or maybe even a little sleet there that we're going to deal with. I think this all starts between 6 and 9 o'clock tonight. That's when the next wave of upper energy comes in, and it's going to start central and western parts of the area. Truth or consequences, if you get any rain out of this, you're going to see it switch to snow quick. And I mean probably in a matter of 30 minutes or so after getting started. It'll stay rain a little longer in other areas, but notice by midnight how that same area is getting the precipitation right through the middle of our forecast area there, but more of it's beginning to turn to snow, maybe with some snow around Deming and spreading eastward as we head through the nighttime hours, 3 a.m. in the morning. Then by 6 a.m. in the morning, you're probably thinking, wow, is that it? It looks like it's beginning to break up. Well, we are going to see the precipitation enhanced in what we call bands. And if you get caught under one of these bands, you're going to get quite a bit of snow. Folks on the outside of the bands probably won't. And these computer models, they can't tell us exactly where that band's going to be. They just kind of hint at the progression of them. But the bottom line is we're going to see different bands, banding of snow throughout the day tomorrow. This is noon and this is 6 p.m. So with that storm system sluggishly moving across the area and the cold air solidly entrenched, I think we will see some snow. Now, as to how much gives you an impact, it really depends on what your thresholds are, and each of you as partners know what those are. So here's the big reveal. How much snow right now we have in our forecast. And you can see up in Cloudcroft, we're talking 8 to 12 inches of snow. I was talking with a forecaster who put this together and said they're thinking right now is maybe about 10, hit it right there in the middle, but it could go either way. But that's enough to cause problems. And keep in mind, this could be a heavy, wet type snow in some cases, so that can add to some problems. We'll talk about that and the impacts in a moment. But look at the Sierra County there, even the lowlands. I-25, as you drop into Sierra County, roll down through T or C, and maybe even all the way down to Hatch. That could be a big trouble spot, and I hope my partners from NMDOT are taking note of this one for us. But even 1 to 2 inches possible down around Cruces and even an inch over towards Deming. That's probably not enough to really ice up the interstate, except for maybe some slick spots on some of the overpasses. But keep in mind, this could go one of two ways. It could go less or it could go higher than that. This is just our best guess at the time. And we even mentioned what could be rain changing to snow, especially as we get into tomorrow for places like El Paso. So impacts. We know it's going to snow in many places, but how is that going to impact us? Well, the biggest impact is going to come to travel, no matter where you are, if you've got to be on the roads. And so interruptions could be possible, major travel interruptions over the higher terrain of the Gila. I'm talking about the Blacks Mountain and the passes up that way throughout much of the Sacramento Mountains. And most of that's due to heavy snowfall. And then into Sierra County and the lowlands, moderate, and that may turn into major depending on how much snow falls and how quickly we're able to respond and mitigate that. Again, due mainly to snow. Now from I-25, that is, to the north, there'll be some minor interruptions, but I don't think the snow is going to come hard and heavy enough that we can't kind of get rid of it. Keep in mind, the surface temperatures are pretty warm. We had a lot of warmth over the last few days, and it'll take them a while to cool off. But even where we're not expecting a tremendous amount of snow, like in the El Paso area, with maybe a little winter mixed in at times with some rain, we can still find some slick spots. And with heavier traffic flow through the bigger city of El Paso, even a little bit of snow can cause some problems. Other problems that we think are that winds even if you're just getting a light snow, wind can blow that snow sideways, and most of it's going to fall overnight when folks, or at least start overnight where folks have their headlights up, and that can turn into pretty much a blinding event. So even if snow is not heavy, blowing snow and reduced visibility is something we have to concern ourselves with. Of course, this is all based on what we think is going to impact our motorists out there, but it could impact all of us as we're at home, because keep in mind, our leaves have not fallen off the trees just yet. We haven't really had fall at this moment. We've gone from summer straight into winter. And so that's going to give more surface area for any snow and or ice to build up on. And ice and snow can get very, very heavy. So this means even large limbs could come cracking down because of the extra load from the ice and snow. And that could, of course, fall on power lines. And that could happen just about anywhere. It's most likely up in the Sacramento Mountains and western parts of Sierra County, but just about anywhere. So that's something to be on guard for. And of course, then the very cold temperatures. We discussed this on Friday. A lot of folks haven't had time to winterize, get ready for this, drain the swamp coolers. Keep in mind, hard freeze possibly is coming by Wednesday morning. And also to make sure that they have proper venting for the heating in their homes so that we don't end up with carbon monoxide buildup. So no matter who you are or what you do, this could be an impactful event. Again, the areas with the warnings will get the greatest impacts, but most of the area will see some type of impact out of this. So again,